Well, bringing this back to video games, which I will.
Sorry.
Well, look, I've said this all along. The video game industry was the first to adopt this. They'll be the last to let go of it, right?
Yeah.
This is an industry that is steep with Looney Tunes all over the place. People who are depressed, they are looking for acceptance from somewhere, so they gravitate to somewhere that is loving and will accept you and push you into their weird cult. It's for that I bring you David Jaffe, creator of the God of War series, who also has a trans kid. He, by the way, also has blocked me because I think he's a piece of shit parent. And I said that publicly, and he thinks I'm a piece of shit for thinking he's a piece of shit. But that's fine. He responded with, and if this becomes law, many kids will suffer and some will choose to check out. The length politicians will go to prioritize anything that benefits them, even if it comes at the cost of our most vulnerable. And here's the branding thing, most vulnerable. If you're out there and are trans, please know there are many of us who have your back and think this is horrible and cruel right here. I am so sick and tired of hearing the phrase most vulnerable when it comes to this. It is the branding on this is on point, and it makes you feel like you're doing something bad when you say, oh, someone's vulnerable here.
The vulnerable, the underrepresented, the marginalized, that kind of language.
Yes, it's constant. And it's like, really? You are the most vulnerable? The people who have entire months, that have entire months dedicated to you, that have entire, like, you go through the calendar and it's like 33% of the year is dedicated to where you want to put your dick. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all.
Like, waterheads don't get a fucking month. They don't even get a day.
See, I need to have that arrangement with my husband, right? Like, we need multiple months where that's all you're doing, okay?
Well, he is not happy about this at all. And he has been ratioed many times over in this tweet here as he's quoted, because he is not the majority here at all. At all. Because, once again, this is a 90-10 issue here. And when you see the social contagion that we showed the chart earlier of this being a 5,000% increase, people see right through this stuff. Most people see right through this stuff. And we see this as kids can't consent to being mutilated in such a manner. If you're not old enough to get a tattoo, then you shouldn't be able to make life-altering changes. This does not seem like that hardcore of a statement here.
No, but he, as a parent of a trans kid, he cannot and he will not ever change his mind on this.
Correct.
And the reason isn't the support of the trans kid. The reason is that he, at some deep down fundamental level, feels incredibly guilty, right? And so he has to work really, really hard to overcome that guilt, to convince himself by convincing other people that he did nothing wrong. Correct. And that's the position that he's in. So it doesn't matter how logical Craig is. It doesn't matter how logical any politician is. He's going to double down and triple down on protect the trans kids forever now, because he's never going to have grandkids, and this is the last thing he's got. His grandkid hopes are shot because he's got trans kids, and he's going to have to feel bad until he dies because he did that to his kid. And that's it for him.
That's actually a great way to explain it. Like having to continuously convince themselves that they did the right thing, because somewhere in them they know that they didn't, but they can never admit that. I
mean, wouldn't you feel awful? It's like I know so many parents who gave their kids at a very young age, and I don't mean to go too far down the vaccine thing, but gave their kids a lot of vaccines at a young age, and it didn't work out that well. Then those parents felt really bad about it, but they can either choose to try to fight against it or something like that, or they triple down. And that seems to be what happens almost more often is, well, that's an outlier, and vaccines are still really good, and they really, really push it hard because they felt bad about it. And the trans things is a million times more extreme than any of that, like a bazillion times more extreme than any of that. And there's no coming out of that. They're stuck. They're going to feel awful about themselves until they die. And I feel horrible about the parents, for the parents and the kids. They both really screwed up. They both did awful things to themselves and to their children. But man, what an awful way to live from here on out.
I mean, you can see this when you watch like the I Am Jazz show as well. You can see that even when Jazz starts talking about how he might have some kind of regret and how he feels, not in control of his own body and he doesn't know who he is, his mother will just continue tripling down about, this is what you wanted. You wanted this. This is the path that you decided to take. And it's like, well, no, because he was a child when all of this started. I'm pretty sure when he was still Desmond was his original name. He was like 7 when all of the like social transitioning stuff started.
Golly. What's crazy to me is how many in the tech industry, so all those game companies that are now owned by Microsoft, they all now have under their medical policy, which filtered down from Microsoft, trans therapy for toddlers. For 2 and 3-year-olds. And I've been covering this for a while now. And what boggles my mind is that it doesn't seem to matter what happens. Microsoft, which includes, Activision and all the brands underneath them, they keep doubling down on that, saying, no. 3-year-olds need to begin the process of getting sex changes. And they had white papers about this. There's an entire group inside Microsoft that's a support group to encourage parents to get 3-year-olds sex changes. That's an actual thing. That's not like a weird made up conspiracy theory. Like, they're proud of it. Like, I've published screenshots after screenshots and document after document. They love it. And it's amazing to me that happens.
His original name was Jaren. I guess I didn't remember because Jaren doesn't sound like a real name.
That's not a real name. Yeah, that's a made up name.
It sounds like a Mortal Kombat character.
It does sound like a Mortal. Yeah, finish him.
That's what they're looking to do with these kids.
That's what they. Yeah.
So I did want to really quick touch on some of the responses here that Jaffe has had to all this. I think it's important to kind of see the back and forth and the logic that they feel like they have here. It's honestly kind of amazing if I'm looking at this objectively. He says,
lay it on me, Craig.
Yeah, sure. So here we go. If a child believes they're the wrong gender, that was pushed on them from an outside source, and it's morally wrong to enable such behavior. Let them wait until adulthood to alter their life so drastically. This is in response to him. This is number one. Nobody pushed this on my kids. My kids grew up with Disney Channel, blockbuster movies, and mainstream TV. There were no trans kids that I ever saw in those shows, and I was a very involved parent. Sure. Which means they got it somewhere else, right?
Right.
They got it from YouTube. They got it from social media. Right. They got one of their friends, maybe. And that's the one. That's the question I'd have for Jaffe. How many of your kids' friends use pronouns? Are say cisgendered? Are trans?
It's like he's also saying, my kids grew up with Disney Channel, and I did as well. I watched Disney Channel. I watched Nickelodeon. I watched Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network has those like anti-racist bumpers. They have those inclusivity bumpers. So Cartoon Network was definitely pumping the propaganda out during kids' cartoon time.
Right. And it's funny to kind of see where he goes with this. And it always goes back to political party. This person says kids can't consent to being mutilated in such a manner. Right. There it is. We talked about the adult. He says you don't have any experience with this. You've allowed yourself to simply be pushed along on the current of your chosen political party, which I think this is such a low-hanging, just generic statement here.
Yeah, that's such a weird thing to say, because it's like it doesn't have anything to do with your political party. It has to do with you don't want to castrate children, whether that be chemically or actually.
Just the idea that, this is
a little thing.
A left or right thing. Right. Just this idea that thing. Well, if you don't think that boys can be girls, then you're Republican. Okay? Like, that's really the line now?
I guess we just all have to be Republican then. I mean, if that's what it is. I don't belong to a political party, but if that's the rules, then I guess I have to be Republican. I'm okay, fine.
Well, this is a great first step. I think we can all agree.
Hell yeah.
On that. That's a good thing to see. And we'll see if it gets codified. And honestly, I would love to see some of these doctors tossed in jail because they are violating their Hippocratic oath, literally from the T of simply just do no harm, and harm is being done.
I think a
Preach
big
it.
problem, like it's great if doctors like in the US are going to start getting thrown in jail for this shit. But a big problem is that like other places in the medical industry, there's obviously going to other countries to get these procedures. And when you listen to the stories of some of the people who got convinced to get these procedures over in like the Philippines or Turkey or some other country that I'm probably not remembering the name of right now, they have zero like aftercare. So if something goes wrong and they try to get in touch with their doctor, the doctor's just like, well, not my problem. And so they end up like mutilated and suffering from tons of complications, and the doctor is just like, well, got my bag, you can fuck off now.
You know, this is actually a really good point here. As I was scrolling and listening to you, Kirsha, we see this post here. U.S. House passes bill to ban transgender surgeries for children, right? And what's the one thing that we've heard? That's not happening. That's
If it's not happening, then it shouldn't be a problem to ban it, right?
Right,
Yeah, it's
right.
fine.
Why are they so upset if no one's performing them to begin with, right? I think that's a really good point. Right?
Yep.
So, anyway, there we go. That's the big story for the day for you guys, which is just absolutely crazy. Are you tired of all the nonsense? Yeah, you are. Hit the subscribe button right here and join us.